Kia ora, good evening. Welcome to Central News for Friday, the 30th of May. I'm Hilary Entwistle. A 9-year-old girl has died and 6 others, including 2 children with serious injuries, are in hospital after a head-on crash on the Kaimai Ranges yesterday. That happened near the summit at about 4:15 p.m, closing a section of State Highway 29 for 5 hours. Multiple emergency services, including 20 firefighters, St John Ambulance from Tauranga, Tokoroa, Matamata and Cambridge, and police from Waikato and Bay of Plenty attended the 3-vehicle crash. Western Bay of Plenty Area Commander Inspector Clifford Paxton says a vehicle travelling west towards Hamilton crossed the centre line, colliding head-on with a car travelling towards Tauranga. The accident is a timely reminder to remain vigilant and keep to the speed on the roads this long weekend. The government is set to roll out a new minimum wage order, including fortnightly pay packets from June, in a move to adequately reflect current work practices. Labour Minister and Tauranga MP Simon Bridges announced the move yesterday in response to a recent court ruling that found a week is the longest period which salaried workers could be assessed for compliance with the Minimum Wage Act. The new order takes effect from June the 26th. Simon says the ruling does not include salaried employees on fortnightly rosters. Hamilton City Council and Tainui Group Holdings will work together to progress repairs to a section of popular pathway alongside the Waikato River. Barry Harris, Council's Chief Executive, announced yesterday that following discussions with his Tainui Group Holdings counterpart, Mike Pohiho, the 2 organisations had agreed a way forward for the benefit of the community. TGH will transfer a 750 square metre section of land near the end of Bryce Street to council ownership. The parcel of land sits between 2 other council-owned sites where riverbank stabilisation work is already underway. The section of walkway has been closed since mid-2011 after serious riverbank landslips created a risk to the pathway. With contractors already working at the location, the project to stabilise the riverbank should mean council can reopen the section of walkway before summer. The Mission Cemetery in Tauranga will be handed back into Māori ownership after the New Zealand Mission Trust Board Empowering Bill was passed on Wednesday night. Māori Party co-leader Te Urura Flavel says the bill puts right a century-old wrong that alienated Ngāti Tapu and Ngai Tamarawaho from the land. Te Urura says about 150 years ago, land in central Tauranga was confiscated from tangata whenua by the Crown as a consequence of their participation in the battles of Pukehenehena, otherwise known as the Battle of Gate Pa in Te Ranga. Waikato Regional Council has today welcomed Hamilton City Council as a partner in the popular Hamilton Halo project, which has been carrying out pest control to increase the number of tui and other native birds visiting and living in the city. Under a new memorandum of understanding signed between the 2 councils and Landcare Research, HCC has committed to working with the Regional Council on control of rats and possums at high-value biodiversity sites around the cities, such as parks and gullies. Now for our region's marine forecast. West Coast, Raglan, Saturday, southeast 15 knots, but 25 knots south of Tiro Point. Sea rough in the south, northwest swell 2 metres easing. Raglan high tide on Saturday is at 11:38 a.m. Saturday for the East Coast, Bay of Plenty, southeast 15 knots, fine, and a northeast swell easing to half a metre. Your high tide is at 8:53 a.m. Just ahead, World Smoke Free Day. Welcome to Central News on TV Central. It is World Smoke Free Day tomorrow, so why not challenge yourself, if you smoke, to go a whole day without. One man passionate about being smoke-free and even says it helped lead to his successful career in international rugby is Matua Parkinson. I caught up with him earlier in the week to see why he is backing Smoke-Free Day. Kia ora, welcome to the show, Matua.
Kia ora, Hilary.
Now, why are you backing World Smoke-Free Day this year?
Well, being a member of the DHB, Bay of Plenty District Health Board, I've seen the statistics that are coming through. And being a young Māori myself, never smoked, I'm seeing the numbers that are coming through, and it's awful and it's pretty discouraging. So I was talking to my chair, Sally Webb, and she said to me, look, we need to use you and utilise you, was her words, in a better way to try and, shed some light on some of these things that predominantly in Māori health that are terrible. So I said, hey, use me away. So I'm here, I'm just trying to get out the message that, smoking's not everything, and I'm kind of concerned why a lot of young Māoris, young Pacific Island people are smoking, or young people in general. So, that's pretty much why I'm into it.
Why do you think it's Māori and Pacific Island people that are smoking more?
I'm allowed to say this because I am Māori. I think it's because they've got terrible role models, to be fair. In their home, in their own socio-economic group, in their own peers, it's acceptable, or it seems to be cool if you're smoking. So I'm trying to change that trend. I know it's a big job, but it's cool if you don't smoke. It's cool if you're fit, you're healthy, rather than the other sitting around rolling up your rollies and smoking darts. It's terrible and it's disgusting.
So you've never smoked then?
No, never smoked. I never smoked. Luckily, I got associated with my cousin who was smoking, and my father caught him. Well, both of us were riding home on our horses. He caught my cousin smoking. I was there with him, so therefore I got the same treatment as my cousin. So I never smoked after that.
What was the treatment?
Well, it was a lot of verbal sort of volatile stuff that I obviously can't say on TV, and as well as filling your mouth with cigarettes and lighting a lot of them. Needless to say, that didn't go down very well. Just about spewed up, coughed up, and as well as my father, you catch you doing that again, you get what for, so.
No, it doesn't sound very nice. I definitely wouldn't like to experience that myself.
No, quite right.
Now, you are emceeing at some events for Smoke Free. Can you tell us about those?
Well, I'm doing one down in Kawerau this coming Saturday. It's just about, telling people my story, letting people know, especially young kids, that there is opportunities out there. I took that little piece of advice my dad gave me, which was don't smoke. If you want to be any good at anything, don't smoke. It's a waste of time, You got plenty of cousins around who are bloody losers after doing that. So I took that little piece of advice my dad gave me. I concentrated not so much on schoolwork, but in the sporting arena, which pretty much got me around the world, So I'm going down to these smoke-free days and say, hey, look, take my advice. If you want to go and see the world for free, have a crack at your sport, whatever it may be. It doesn't always have to be rugby, league, netball, soccer, hockey, whatever. There's heaps of avenues out there for young kids. And a lot of young kids are talented, especially in our rural communities, and they don't get out there and see the big bad world, Kawerau's been having a bad rap lately, It's, I like the place. I've been there a few times. I've got uncles and cousins who live there. But it's just to go there and say, hey, look, there's a bigger world out there. Don't smoke, It's no good for you. You want early grave? Well, kaiakwe, where you go.
You really think smoking can really impact that much? It can really put people behind that much?
Yeah, I think it can, because what it does, it starts, that's the culture, it's smoking. Then they lead on to other things, Being a member of the District Health Board, I already said, I get statistics, from smoking, there's heart disease, lung, blah, 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 and all at the top of those are all Māori and Pacific Island, so it's a terrible statistic, So if we can get that smoking down, hopefully, then, hopefully they have a better life, that's what it's all about. Man, we're all here to have a good time, have a good life, I don't be Mahatma Gandhi and try and change the world, but I want people to see that there's an opportunity out there. If you knock the darts on the head, firstly, how much money are you going to save? Hey, it's expensive to smoke nowadays. We're losing roughly 5,000 people a year to smoking, so that's a good number of people. You
say it doesn't just impact on elite sports, though?
No, definitely not. Definitely not. You don't have to be the best at what you're doing, but there's mothers. There's mothers that are smoking while they're pregnant, so they have a smaller baby. No, come on. That's crazy. That's crazy, eh? And you're looking at me like I'm talking crazy talk, but it's straight up and down like 6 o'clock. People are doing this. it doesn't have to be elite sport. You know, if you want to put your best foot forward, so to speak, in any sport, you got to give yourself the best opportunity. Train, chuck the darts away, and you do a lot better. You know, people are saying, "Oh, I'm going right now, doing right as I am. I'm smoking. I'm still playing." How much better could you be?
Good point. What's your best advice then to give up?
Well, hey, look, give up because you want it. Firstly, you know, you can't tell. You know, I know there's, you know, it's addictive, but firstly, don't start. Then you don't have to give up. You don't have to fight that battle to give up. But if you want to give up, there's heaps of quit hotlines out there. Get on one of those. You're talking to people that have actually been through the process, that sort of stuff. At this World Smoke Free Day down in Kawerau, you know, there'll be other different methods of getting off the nicotine. I know it's not easy, but you know, if you're really keen, you'll get rid of it.
Definitely some good words of advice there. Thank you very much for coming in.
Kia ora, Hillary.
And you can, of course, ring Quitline on 0800 778 778. Coming up after the break, how to dress your body shape. Welcome back. Most of us are guilty of making a few fashion faux pas in the past. I know I have. There is no need to worry now, as Bayfair has set up styling sessions with Angela Beatson. I found out which fashion errors are best kept in the past. Welcome to the show, Angela.
Thank you.
Now, fashion often recycles itself quite a lot. You know, we've got the flares, they always come back, don't they?
They do.
But what should never be repeated?
I've got a few things. So talking about flares, my little thing is the bootleg. Okay, so it's gone now, and we should move on quite quickly. There's some beautiful styles of jeans out there for women these days. There's a great array of jeans, and skinny jeans are not for skinny girls. They're for all women. So there's the boyfriend or the girlfriend, whatever you want to call it. There's so many different ones, so you don't need to wear the bootleg.
Now, when you're wearing you said skinny jeans aren't just for skinny girls. How does a apple-shaped or a pear-shaped woman wear skinny jeans and feel comfortable?
Yes, good question. So an apple, that's in a natural state to be tight on the bottom and flowing on the top, and that helps with the tummy and helps keep it all balanced. So flowy top, and definitely just below the crotch, so we don't want to see anywhere from there up. Okay, and that's how you'll feel comfortable wearing a skinny jean. If you are a pear, it is not natural for you to be tight on the bottom and flowy on the top. So when you are, without feeling like you're drowning in a curtain of fabric on the top of you, because that's your smallest part, we want to be able to see through that fabric. So we want to be able to see that you still have a waist, you still have tiny little shoulders, and then that's what will balance it up. And obviously when you finish your hemline with skinny jeans and you're a pear, you want to finish it just below your widest point, not on the widest point.
And what about boots? Now, boots, they've come back, haven't they?
Boots are back. So the ankle boot is for everybody. Okay, that's why they're here, that's why you'll see them everywhere, and you can have them flat or heeled or wedged. They're in great colours, so you don't need to just buy black to be practical. So you can have lots of different colours. And the knee-high boot is back, but I do say to women, when you're wearing a knee-high, be very careful of the upper shape of your thigh, because it will make you shorter, it will shrink you. And petite women, no knee-high boots. Because they've just got no height, it's gone, and you'll just feel shorter and shorter. And look, you just ask women these questions, and that's exactly how it makes me feel.
Now, a lot of women worry about dressing age appropriately. Do you think that women should worry about that?
Well, I do. I just think probably once you hit about 30, less skin is more. For you. So you just think about that length of that skirt, it's to the knee, and probably no tummy exposure. It's more flattering. But I think I think styles and fashion are so now for women 30 to 50 to 60, and you can look fabulous without looking too young. I do find a lot of women dress a lot older than their age, so my job is to try and just bring that down a little bit. Just use of colour, use of fabrics and styles will make them look a bit younger.
That's really interesting. I always thought that women feel like they dress older, don't they? They always go, oh, I'm sorry, younger. Sorry, they
Yes.
go, you know, oh,
They
don't want to look
worry.
like mutton dressed as lamb.
Yeah, they
and-
worry about it. And
Yeah.
I say to them, you can't look like that if you're wearing a nice pair of skinny jeans, an ankle boot, a gorgeous flowing top and a little cardigan and a scarf. How can you look young? You look beautiful. You just look really modern.
Now, the age-old question, how does one find their personal style?
Look, it's like a job. I like to think that once I've helped women with their colour and their body shape and given them all the tips that they need for their style, that they're armed and ready and confident to go out and find their style. And I see women every day who are worried about what to wear and how to wear it. And I'd like to think we're changing that and they can go out there and find exactly their own style.
So it's more about just relax and embrace it?
Once you know what looks good on you and only you, yes, yeah, watch out husbands and the credit cards. Yeah.
Now, at these sessions, you have style boards. I know what these are. Watch Project Runway, they have them in there. So those people that don't know, what is a style board?
So when a fashion label wants to bring out a new look, a new release, which they do all the time now, they'll create a style around different types of pieces and fabrics and looks, and they'll even name it, and that's how they release it as their brand. So you can go in and look and find that one item in there that you think, that's me, that's my colour, that's my shape, that's what looks good. And remember, if you do buy the right thing, you'll have it for years and you'll wear it and wear it and wear it. So don't be afraid of paying just a little bit more for it if you know it's a classic piece that you'll keep for a long time. And advertising's all around style boards now. So when you look in the magazines, there'll be a whole collection of items to make that outfit. And that makes it easy for us to go, I want that outfit, I'm going to go and get all of that.
Well, it sounds all very interesting. It's definitely a science, isn't it? Thank you very much, Angela.
Thank you.
The styling sessions with Angela have been so successful that they will be launching a ladies' night sessions for the month of June on Friday late nights. Coming up next, how bad are we in Tauranga? Welcome back to Central News. Affordable housing has been on the agenda in the world of politics recently, mainly the Auckland market. But what about in Tauranga? Some say we are just as worse off. I spoke with Tauranga Community Housing Trust about whether we are.
It's hard to say because I think we look at the figures in Auckland because there's a lot of focus on housing affordability in Auckland. I think relative to income, Tauranga definitely has a problem, and in terms of supply, we have an issue around suitable supply, particularly for the growing ageing population. Obviously we're in a better position than some parts of Auckland, but clearly in a worse position than lots of other parts of the country.
How is that changing demographic, that ageing population, how is that affecting it?
Well, I guess the type of housing that we have and the type of housing there's a mismatch between what we have and what we require. So I believe that needs to be addressed.
How would you like that to be addressed?
Well, I think we need to really build housing around what's required and what people can afford going forward. It's not just about building 4-beddies standalone in suburbia. It's about a range of options that suit a range of needs, and a range of people have different resources available to them, and some people have very little resources to them, and for those people there'll always need to be rental accommodation.
The Trust is developing an age-friendly housing village. Can you tell me about that project?
A couple of years ago we negotiated with Tauranga City Council to purchase one of their sites on the proviso that we would intensify and upgrade it and achieve some purpose-built dwellings that were suitable for older people and smaller families. We got support from central government, from the SHU and TECT and Bay Trust, and so that's enabled us to advance that. The development's well underway and the completion date is thought to be October.
What makes the Clark Street Village so age-friendly?
I guess the way the design, the layout of the buildings, the contour of the land, things like lighting, paths, safety and security have been taken into consideration. We've got things like provision for mobility scooters. All the lower level units are fully accessible, so they're suitable for people who utilise wheelchairs or have restricted mobility.
And the Trust would like to see many more of these kind of projects rolled out?
Absolutely. We could fill it, 4 times over with the people on our wait list now. So yes, we would.
You can find out more about Tauranga Community Housing Trust and the work they do on their website tcht.org.nz. Now for our weather for our long weekend. Hamilton, your Saturday will be fine with morning frost. Old Jack Frost is back and you have a southeast breeze. The clear skies are bringing those chilly nights back with an overnight low of 2 and an expected temp of 15 during the day. The same for the rest of the Waikato, fine with a southeast breeze. Paeroa 15 and 6, Matamata 13 and 5, Te Awamutu 15 and 2, and Tokoroa 12 and 2. Tauranga the same for you as well, fine with a southeast breeze, 16 and 7. Te Puke, you too will have a fine day with 14 and 7. Sunday for you, Hamilton, cloud increasing with some rain later and southeasterlies, 16 and 6. The rest of the Waikato, cloud increasing, patchy rain developing during the afternoon or evening, southeasterlies. Paeroa 16 and 9, Matamata 14 and 9, Te Awamutu 16 and 6, and Tokoroa 13 and 6. Tauranga, your Sunday, late rain developing in the afternoon with southeasterlies, 17 and 10 your expected temperatures. Te Puke, cloud increasing, patchy rain developing during the afternoon and southeasterlies there too, and 15 and 10. That is Central News for this week. I hope you enjoyed the show. We love to hear your feedback, so like us on Facebook or email us at news@tvcentral.co.nz. Join me again next week for more stories from the Bay and the Waikato. I'm Hilary Entwistle. I hope you have a lovely long weekend and a fantastic evening.
This has been an Alpha Media production, a division of Television Media Group.
Supporting local content so you can see more of New Zealand on air.